2 lines on the pregnancy test. The bathroom light was stark white. My phone lit up. A notification from my priority follow list. Victoria is back. Arriving at Pudong Airport tonight at 8. I knew Victoria. She was the scar on Alexander's heart, unhealed for 10 years. Now, they could finally be together. I looked down at my stomach. Alexander's second child was just beginning to grow there. Conceived via IVF using his sperm. Our first child was 4. His name was Noah. He was sleeping next door. I walked out of the bathroom. I didn't turn on the lights. I sat in the darkness. Outside, the city lights twinkled, like the diamond necklace Alexander had given me last night. He said it was from a new mine in South Africa, the purest batch. I touched my neck. It was bare. The necklace was in its box, cold, like the look in his eyes when he praised me for being understanding. My phone buzzed again. A message from Alexander's assistant. MS, Sue, Mr. Chen has an important engagement tonight and will not be returning. An important engagement. Picking up Victoria, no doubt. I opened my social media. Victoria had just updated. Her location was Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris. The picture was of her slender wrist, resting on the handle of her suitcase. A faded red string was tied around it. I recognized that red string. Alexander had woven it himself when he was 18. She had been wearing it when she went abroad. 10 years. She still had it. I stood up. I went into the nursery. Noah was fast asleep. His little face glowed like warm jade in the nightlight. I kissed his forehead. I took out my phone. Booked a flight. The earliest one to France. 6:50 a.m. Only one business class seat left. I paid. Without blinking. Alexander's secondary card. It was so easy to use. Then I opened my laptop. Pulled up the signed divorce agreement. Printed it. Signed my name. Evelyn. My hand trembled a little, but the signature was clear. I threw it on the living room coffee table. Weighed it down with a crystal ashtray. Alexander didn't use ashtrays. He only smoked cigars. He had gotten that for me. I hated the smell of smoke. He remembered, but he had forgotten. It wasn't the smoke I hated. It was the sight of his face, growing increasingly blurry behind it. Packing was quick. 124-inch suitcase, filled with Noah's and my essentials, and my laptop, tablet, and external hard drive. All my design files were on it. For the past few years, Alexander had given me money. I had opened a studio, designing jewelry. My client list had grown longer and longer. So had my bank account. Alexander didn't know. He thought I was just playing. A hobby. Just like he was keeping me. Like an expensive canary in a gilded cage. He had encrusted the cage with diamonds. But he had forgotten. A bird's wings are strong. Before I left, I placed the South African diamond necklace on top of the divorce agreement. I left the key in the entryway. At 4 in the morning, I woke Noah. He was groggy. Mommy, it's still dark. I'm taking you on an adventure. On a big airplane. Where's Daddy? Daddy's busy. I put his coat on. I picked him up and carried him downstairs. The driver was Ben. From my studio. Trustworthy. The car pulled out of the villa complex. Noah fell asleep in my arms again. I looked back. One last look at the brightly lit cage. Goodbye, Alexander. As the plane took off, the sky was just beginning to turn pale. Noah pressed his face against the window. Excited. Mommy, the sun is chasing us. I touched my stomach. It was still flat. But I knew. A new life was growing. Just like 4 years ago. Only this time, I wouldn't tell anyone, including Alexander. A small town in France. The climate was mild. A small courtyard I had purchased years ago. Quiet, yet close to the bustle. My core studio team arrived secretly within 3 days. My assistant, Amy, had red eyes. Evelyn, you're so cruel. Just leaving like that. The design director, David, pushed up his glasses. It's for the best. Now the big boss can finally focus on her career. They all called me Evelyn. No one knew that the father of my child was Alexander, the man whose name graced the pages of every financial journal. The studio was renamed Lumiere Jewelry, re-registered. I was the legal owner. Evelyn. The news of Victoria's return was everywhere. The headline of the financial section. Heiress of Chin Corporation returns. Potential alliance with Chin Empire. The entertainment hot search. First love returns. CEO of Chin Corp appears with old flame at charity gala. The photos were beautiful. Alexander in a black bespoke suit. Victoria in a moon-white cheongsam, leaning against him. On her slender wrist. That red string was a glaring presence. Alexander's gaze was fixed on her face. So tender. It could melt glaciers. A world away from the perfunctory look he gave me when he called me understanding. I closed the page. Opened my design software. Next season's theme. Rebirth. David leaned in to look. Whoa, that diamond cut is bold. Will it work? It will if I say it will. I poured money into it. The production line started up. Lumiere's first collection was launched. The signature series, Chrysalis. I had designed it while pregnant. After several sleepless nights, inspiration had poured out of me. I shot the promotional video myself. My face was not shown. The camera focused only on a pair of hands, calloused, polishing a diamond ring. I wrote the tagline myself. The light is in your hands. The path is at your feet. The ad campaign was massive. The money burned fast. The effect was explosive. Within a week, sales surpassed the studio's total for the past 5 years. The customer service line was ringing off the hook. The stores were packed. The topic trended online. Lumiere Jewelry Chrysalis. Who is Evelyn? Alexander's call came at night. The French night was filled with the chirping of insects. The phone screen lit up. Alexander. I let it ring for 10 minutes before answering. Hello, Evelyn. His voice was a little hoarse. The background was quiet. Where are you? Is there something you need? I saw the news. Lumiere Jewelry. Is that you? Yes. You've done well. He paused. When are you coming back? Back. I laughed. Back where? Home. His tone hardened. I can explain about Victoria. There's no need. I looked out at the dark sky. Alexander, we're divorced. I didn't sign the papers. It becomes official after 2 years of separation. Silence on the other end. His breathing grew heavy. Where's Noah? He's asleep. Evelyn. He suppressed his anger. Stop this nonsense. What does it look like? You taking the child and running off. Come back. I can't. My voice was calm. Alexander, your first love is back. I'm making way. Cleanly. She's just. It doesn't matter anymore. I interrupted. I wish you all the best. By the way, I forgot to tell you. I touched my stomach. There was a faint flutter, like the beating of a butterfly's wings. Impregnant. On the other end of the line, dead silence. A few seconds later, the sound of something shattering. Whose? His voice was laced with ice. Not yours. That's for sure. I laughed. You had a vasectomy, remember, 4 years ago, after Noah was born. He had it done, for his Victoria. Afraid I would use the child to secure my position. He thought I didn't know. The line went dead. The dial tone. Beep, 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 like a hammer on my heart. I put down the phone. My hand was shaking, but I quickly steadied it. Good. A clean break. The studio flourished. The Chrysalis collection sold out. Investors came knocking. I chose a few. Signed the deals. Money begets money. The team expanded. We rented a larger office. My belly started to show. I wore loose-fitting clothes. Told everyone I was just gaining weight. Noah started preschool. He asked about his father once. Daddy's busy. Busy with what? Busy. I knelt down and straightened his little backpack. Forgetting us. He seemed to understand, but not really. Will mommy forget me? Never. I kissed his cheek. Mommy is only busy loving you. And loving the baby in my belly. The morning sickness was terrible. 4 months. Worse than with Noah. Maybe because I was older. Or maybe because I was emotionally exhausted. Amy was worried. Evelyn, take a break. Let David and the team handle the designs. I shook my head. After throwing up in the sink, I rinsed my mouth. I have to personally oversee the new Rebirth collection. It was my child, an armor of diamonds and platinum. Alexander didn't come looking for me. In the news, he and Victoria were inseparable. The Ching family invested in the Chin Corporation, a powerful alliance. The financial journals sang their praises. A golden couple, a match made in heaven. Victoria opened an art gallery. At the opening reception, Alexander was by her side the entire time. In the photos, he was holding her coat. His gaze was focused, as if he were holding a rare treasure. I closed the webpage, opened the security camera feed. Noah was on the slide at preschool, giggling. I touched my belly. Baby, look how happy your brother is. My phone vibrated. An unknown number. I ignored it. It rang again. I ignored it again. The 3rd time. I answered. Who is this? Evelyn. It was Alexander. His voice was tired. You don't have to change your number to avoid me. I said coolly. We need to talk. About what? The alimony is in my account. Thank you. It's enough. It's not about the money, he said, his voice strained. Noah, I want to see my son. The agreement states the visitation rights. The first weekend of next month. I can't wait that long. You'll have to. I was firm. Mr. Chen, this is the law. Whose child are you carrying? He suddenly asked. Does it matter? It matters. His voice rose. Evelyn, don't force me to investigate. Go ahead. I sneered. And what will you do when you find out? Make him disappear. Just like you did to Victoria's family. On the other end of the line, dead silence. Only his heavy breathing. You knew. Knew what? I feigned ignorance. Knew why Victoria suddenly went abroad. Knew how her father's company went bankrupt. Knew about that accidental fire at her house. Shut up. Scared. I gently stroked my belly. Alexander, if you don't want people to know, what do you want? His voice was dark. Nothing. I laughed. Just take care of your first love. Keep an eye on the money the Ching family gave you. And don't mess with me. I hung up, blocked the number. My palms were sweaty. I did know some of what had happened back then. Victoria's father's bankruptcy. Alexander had a hand in it. He wanted to break her wings, so she would have to rely on him. Unfortunately, Victoria was a strong-willed woman. She would rather flee to a foreign country than be trapped in his cage. 10 years later, she returned, with what little capital the Ching family had left, to make a deal with him. Love, how laughable. My belly grew bigger each day, and Lumiere grew brighter. The new Rebirth collection was launched, inspired by the sprouting of life. A set of jewelry combining diamonds and jade, bold yet gentle. Pre-sales broke records. At the celebration party, I wore a loose-fitting velvet long dress. It concealed my 7-month belly. A champagne tower stood tall. The lights were dazzling. Amy drank too much. She hugged me and cried, "Evelyn, we did it. No one will ever call you a trophy wife again." David raised his glass. To Evelyn. To Rebirth. A scene of joyous celebration. I smiled. I took a sip of juice. A sudden cramp in my lower abdomen. It hurt. I frowned. I held onto the table for support. Evelyn. Amy noticed something was wrong. "I'm fine." I waved my hand. "Just a little tired." I left early. The driver took me home. On the way, the contractions grew more frequent. Something was wrong. I was 2 months away from my due date. The hospital. The emergency room. Fetal heart monitoring. The doctor's face was grave. "Placental abruption. We need to operate immediately." My hand was shaking as I signed the consent form. Evelyn. The 2 words were scrawled and crooked. The surgical lights were blinding. Anesthesia. Before I lost consciousness, I grabbed the nurse's hand. "Save the baby. We will." I lost consciousness. When I woke up, the smell of antiseptic was strong. The sunlight was blinding. I turned my head. I saw an incubator. A tiny figure. Under the warm light. Like a little red mouse. Wrinkled. "It's a girl," Amy said. Her eyes swollen. "Premature. 4 pounds. 6 ounces. She's in the incubator," the doctor said. "She's stable for now." My throat was dry. "Noah, the nanny is with him. At home." I didn't dare to tell him. I nodded. My eyes were fixed on the incubator. My daughter. So small. So fragile. "Evelyn. A name. Have you chosen one?" I thought for a moment. "Noah has a sister. Her name is Chloe." Noah and Chloe. A promise worth 1,000 gold pieces. My phone rang. Amy handed it to me. It was that same unknown number. "Alexander." I answered. "Hello. You gave birth." His voice was tense. The news traveled fast. "Yes. The baby is mine." I interrupted. "Alexander, it has nothing to do with you. A DNA test. You dare to touch her." My voice was suddenly sharp. "Alexander, I'm warning you. You dare to mess with my daughter. I will ruin you and Victoria." I have a backup of how the Ching family fell. On the other end of the line, he gasped. "You. What about me?" I stared at the little life in the incubator. "Don't force me to take you down with me. Take your Victoria and get out of my life. This is your last warning." I hung up, blocked the number, turned off my phone. The world was quiet. Chloe stayed in the incubator for 3 weeks. I visited her every day, through the glass. My fingers pressed against the cold wall of the incubator. "Baby, you can do it." She was a fighter. She grew stronger every day. The day she was discharged, it was sunny. I held her, a tiny bundle, wrapped in a soft swaddle. The sunlight fell on her sparse baby hair, golden, like an angel's halo. Noah stood on his tiptoes to see. "Mommy, she's so small. She'll grow up fast." I kissed his forehead. "Just like you." We went home. The small courtyard was quiet. The osmanthus was in bloom. The air was fragrant. Life went on. I left the studio in the hands of David and Amy. I was on maternity leave. I focused on raising my children. Chloe was a good baby. She ate and slept. She rarely cried. Noah was a good big brother. He would lie by her crib every day and tell her stories. "Sister, I'll protect you." The days were peaceful. Alexander didn't appear again. In the news, his and Victoria's wedding was all the rage. They were getting married at the end of the year. A wedding of the century. Victoria's art gallery opened a new branch. She gave an interview. She held onto Alexander's arm. Her smile was gentle. Arthur and I wasted 10 years. This time, I won't let go. Alexander looked at her. His gaze was tender. A reporter asked, Mr. Chen, I heard you have a son with your ex-wife. Alexander's smile faded. The child is with her. We will have our own children. A close-up. Victoria caressed her flat stomach. Her smile was shy. The news popped up on my screen as I was changing Chloe's diaper. My movements paused for a moment. Then I continued. A warm, wet cloth, wiping her delicate skin. Chloe gurgled. She grabbed my finger. Hard. I bent down. I kissed her little fist. Don't be afraid, baby. You have mommy, and a big brother. It was enough. At the end of the year, Alexander and Victoria's wedding took place as scheduled. They booked the entire hotel. Celebrities flocked. The media went into a frenzy. It was live-streamed online. I was holding 8-month-old Chloe, trying to get her to take a nap. Noah was building with blocks nearby. The TV was on, muted. The scene was extravagant. Victoria was wearing a custom Vera Wang wedding dress, a 10-meter train, covered in diamonds, like the Milky Way. Alexander was in a white tuxedo, devastatingly handsome. He took her hand. They walked through an arch of flowers. The officiant was asking something. He looked down at Victoria. His lips moved. It must have been I do. The scene was beautiful, like a fairy tale. Chloe fell asleep in my arms. Her little mouth smacked twice. I turned off the TV. Noah, can you get mommy a small blanket? Okay. My son ran off. Sunlight streamed in through the window. Warm, dust motes danced in the sunbeams. My phone vibrated. An encrypted email, from an unknown sender. Subject, a gift. I opened it. An audio file, downloaded, played. A noisy background, like a banquet. Alexander's voice, a little drunk. Victoria, huh? Her father almost destroyed my family. If it weren't for the old man's soft heart. Another man's voice. Then why are you marrying her? True love. Alexander sneered. True love. The Ching family still has some assets left. I'll squeeze them dry. Her, she's a barren hen. I'll just keep her at home as a decoration. The audio cut off. There was more. I dragged the progress bar. It was Victoria's voice, cold, filled with hatred. Alexander destroyed my father, destroyed 10 years of my life, and now he wants to tie me down with marriage. In his dreams, does he think I don't know he had a vasectomy? Huh. I'll use his seed, give birth to a Ching family heir, and take back what's mine. Once the baby is born, the audio ended. My hand was a little cold. I held my daughter tighter. This gift was heavy. Who sent it? It didn't matter. In my safe, there was now another backup. After Alexander's wedding, a storm brewed. First, Victoria's art gallery was exposed for financial fraud. The tax authorities launched an investigation. Then, a scandal erupted in the Chin Corporation's largest overseas acquisition. Bribery, insider trading. The stock price plummeted. Alexander was overwhelmed. The media was like sharks smelling blood. They hounded him. Reporters cornered Victoria. They asked her about the tax issues at her gallery. They asked if she knew about the bribery case. Finally, a sharp question was thrown out. Ms. Chung, it is rumored that you are pregnant via IVF. Is this because Mr. Chen's vasectomy affected his fertility? On camera, Victoria's face instantly went pale, as if all the blood had been drained from it. She looked frantically at Alexander beside her. His face was ashen. He pushed the reporters away. He shielded her as they got into the car. The car door closed. You couldn't see inside, but the windows weren't tinted. You could see Victoria covering her face, her shoulders shaking. Alexander was looking to the side. His lips were pressed into a thin line. His eyes were terrifyingly dark. This video went viral. The headlines were sensational. Facade of the rich and famous shattered. First love and tears. Vasectomy rumors ignite the truth. Public opinion was in an uproar. The devoted lover persona Alexander had so carefully crafted, the elegant and noble socialite image Victoria had cultivated, shattered. I closed the page. I fed my daughter applesauce. Chloe opened her little mouth. Nom, nom. She ate with gusto. Good girl. I wiped her mouth. My phone rang again. An even more unfamiliar number. I answered. Evelyn, was it you? Alexander's roar came through. What? I feigned ignorance. The audio. That recording. Oh. My tone was flat. I don't know what you're talking about, Mr. Chen. You. Alexander. I interrupted, looking at my daughter's clear eyes. Mind your own business. Don't bother me again. Otherwise, the next thing to be leaked won't just be a recording. Are you threatening me? It's a friendly warning. I hung up, blocked the number. The world was quiet again. The storm raged for a few months. The Chin Corporation was severely weakened. Victoria's art gallery closed down. The two of them became recluses. In the photos the media managed to get, Victoria was haggard. Alexander's eyes were dark. The former glory was gone. Lumiere was on a steady rise. It became a new force in the jewelry world. I led my team to win several international awards, fame and fortune. On my daughter Chloe's first birthday, I held a one-year-old ceremony in the courtyard. A red carpet was laid out. It was covered with objects, books, pens, an abacus, a small hammer, a seal, jewelry. The little one was dressed in a bright red traditional outfit. She sat in the middle of the carpet. Her big, dark eyes looked at this, touched that. Finally, her chubby little hand firmly grasped a small, platinum and diamond safety lock. It was the first piece I had designed for the Rebirth collection. Lock in safety, and peace for all your years. A round of applause. Good job, sister. Noah cheered. I smiled. I picked up my daughter. I kissed her again and again. My phone vibrated. Amy handed it to me. Her expression was a little strange. Evelyn, the front desk said someone is here to see you. Who? He said his name is Chen. The smile on my face faded. Tell him to leave, he said. He won't leave until he sees you. At the courtyard gate, Alexander's car was parked. A black Maybach, covered in dust. He was leaning against it. He had lost a lot of weight. His suit was too big. His chin was stubbled. The darkness in his eyes was deeper, as if covered in a layer of ash. I was holding my daughter. Through the gate. What do you want? He looked at the child in my arms. His expression was complex. Chloe. Yes. She looks like you. Thank you. Noah is inside. He doesn't want to see you. Silence. The wind blew. The osmanthus had long since faded. The branches were bare. Evelyn, he began, his voice dry. I might have been wrong. Might have been. I laughed. Victoria, his Adam's apple bobbed. She wasn't pregnant. It was a lie, to placate the old folks in the Ching family. Oh, she hates me. I know. He gave a pained smile. Worse than a cry. Back then, I forced her father into a corner. I thought, that way she would stay with me, but she ran away. Yes. He looked at me. And then I met you. Don't. I interrupted him. Don't compare me to her. I am me. I know. His eyes dimmed. I just wanted to make it up to you, to Noah, and to her. His gaze fell on Chloe's face, with a hint of longing. Her name is Chloe. Yes. Can I hold her? No. I took a step back. I held my daughter tighter. Chloe turned her head. She buried her face in my neck, giving him only the back of her head. Alexander's hand froze in midair. It slowly fell. Evelyn, is there any chance for us? No. My answer was decisive. Alexander, from the moment you chose to use schemes to keep Victoria, your love was tainted. From the moment you had a vasectomy for her and used me as a substitute, we were over. Now, you're just at a dead end. And you remember your understanding ex-wife. His face went white. His lips moved. He couldn't say a word. Go home. My tone was calm. Take care of your Chin empire. Fix it. And don't come back. I turned. I walked into the courtyard. Evelyn, he called after me. His voice was filled with a desperate, last-ditch hope. If I had met you first. I didn't stop. There are no ifs. The courtyard gate closed. It blocked his view. And it blocked out the absurd past. Spring. Chloe was learning to walk. Wobbly. Like a little penguin. Noah was in kindergarten. With a small backpack. The studio moved to a larger space. A top-tier office building in the city center. An entire floor. On moving day, the sun was shining. From the new office's floor-to-ceiling windows, you could see half the city. Amy ran around excitedly. Evelyn, the view is amazing. David touched the new desk, feeling emotional. The days of drawing in that small alley feel like a dream. I was holding my daughter. Chloe pointed out the window. Mommy, hi. Yes, hi. I kissed her cheek. And in the future, it will be even higher. The office intercom rang. The receptionist's sweet voice. Ms. Sue, there's a visitor. Ms. Chung. She doesn't have an appointment, but she insists on seeing you. I frowned. Which Ms. Chung? She said. She's Ms. Victoria Chung. The meeting room. Victoria was sitting there. She was so thin she was almost a skeleton. Her expensive suit hung on her. Her face was pale, dark circles under her eyes, a world away from the radiant woman at the wedding. I had the nanny take Chloe to play. I closed the door. What is it? She looked up. Her eyes were empty. She stared at me for a long time before her gaze focused. Evelyn. Her voice was hoarse. Yes, you won. I don't compete with anyone. She gave a pained smile. It looked like a cry. Alexander is in prison. I raised an eyebrow. Bribery. The evidence was conclusive. He got 7 years. Her hands were clenched. Her knuckles were white. The Ching family is completely finished. The gallery was seized. Oh, I have nothing left. She looked at me, her eyes dead. Except my hatred for you. Why do you hate me? If it weren't for you. Her voice was suddenly sharp. If you hadn't leaked those recordings, Alexander wouldn't have suspected me. He wouldn't have investigated. He wouldn't have found out about my father. He wouldn't have what? I looked at her calmly. Wouldn't have discovered your fake pregnancy. Wouldn't have discovered you were just using him for revenge. Wouldn't have discovered you hated him to the core. Victoria looked as if she had been whipped. She flinched. You, Victoria. I poured her a glass of water and pushed it towards her. Don't paint yourself as a victim. Your father's attempt to take over the Chin Corporation wasn't clean either. Alexander's retaliation, though harsh, was not unprovoked. She glared at me. You knew all along. I knew some of it. I leaned back in my chair. Your feud was a dog-eat-dog affair. I was just an innocent bystander who got caught in the crossfire. But you ruined everything. What did I ruin? I laughed. Your plan to use Alexander for revenge. Or his delusional dream of tying you down with marriage. She was speechless. Victoria. I looked out at the bustling city. You and him. One wanted revenge. The other wanted possession. You never loved each other. You loved your own obsessions. Your 10-year entanglement was a curse. My leaving was self-preservation. She lowered her head. Her shoulders began to shake. Then what do I have? What do I have left? You still have yourself. I stood up. The road ahead is long. Don't waste your life on hatred. It's not worth it. She didn't look up. Tears fell onto the polished table, creating a small puddle. I walked out of the meeting room. I closed the door. Sunlight streamed in through the floor-to-ceiling windows, filling the hallway. Warm. My phone vibrated. A message from Noah's kindergarten teacher. Noah's mom. We have a parent-child activity today. Can you make it? Noah really wants you to come. I walked quickly towards the elevator. My lips curved into a smile. I'll be right there. Time flies. 3 years later, Lumiere Jewelry went public. I was holding 6-year-old Chloe's hand, and 9-year-old Noah's. Under the spotlight, countless cameras flashed. A reporter asked, Ms. Sue, as a single mother who has built a public company, what's your secret? I smiled. I looked at the audience, the company's veterans, my team, and Noah, in a little suit, standing straight and tall, and Chloe, in a pink dress, shyly hugging my leg. The secret is, I squeezed my children's hands. Don't pin your hopes on others. You have to find your own light. A thunderous applause. The flashes were blinding. That night, the celebration party was at our own hotel, a glamorous affair, glasses clinking. Noah was a little gentleman, helping me greet the guests. Chloe was sleepy. The nanny took her back to the room. My assistant, Amy, came over. She whispered, Evelyn, someone wants to see you over there. She gestured to the terrace. I looked. In the shadows, the silhouette of a man, thin, his back slightly hunched. I walked over. The wind on the terrace was strong. It blew my shawl. He turned around. It was Alexander. He looked older, gray at his temples. His eyes were cloudy. He wore an ill-fitting old suit. The former confident air was gone. Congratulations. His voice was hoarse. Thank you. Silence. Only the sound of the wind. He looked at me, greedily, as if to burn my image into his mind. Noah has grown taller. Yes. Chloe looks like you. Yes. Evelyn. His Adam's apple bobbed. I was released early. I'm out. Oh, I have nothing left. He laughed self-deprecatingly. The Chin Corporation is gone. Victoria, remarried, emigrated. Good for her. He took a step forward, a hint of humble hope in his eyes. Can I see the children from a distance? Is that okay? I looked at him for a long time. Then, I slowly shook my head. No. The light in his eyes went out, like a dying ember. Alexander, I pulled my shawl tighter. We're even. The children have their own lives. Don't disturb them. He lowered his head. His shoulders slumped. I understand. Take care. I turned. I walked towards the brightly lit banquet hall. My children were there. My partners. My empire. Evelyn. He called after me. His voice was broken by the wind. If back then, I didn't turn back. There are no ifs. The terrace door closed behind me. It shut out the darkness and the past. Inside the banquet hall, it was warm, full of laughter. Noah ran over. He took my hand. His little face was flushed with excitement. Mommy, Uncle David said he's taking me to see the new mine tomorrow. Chloe also broke free from the nanny's hand. She wobbled over and hugged my leg. Her voice was sweet. Mommy, home. I bent down. I picked up my daughter with one hand. I held my son's hand with the other. Okay, let's go home. 5 years later, Paris. Lumiere's first overseas flagship store opened. On the Champs-Élysées, the lights were dazzling. As the founder, I cut the ribbon. The media was in a frenzy. I wore a gown I had designed myself. The Homecoming collection. Platinum for the frame, diamonds for the Milky Way, a teardrop-shaped emerald on the chest, a continuation of the Rebirth collection. The flashes were as bright as day. A reporter asked, Ms. Sue, what's the special meaning behind the name Lumiere? I looked at the camera. I smiled. Everyone has a lost light in their life. Pick it up, and let it illuminate your path forward. A thunderous applause. The ribbon cutting was over. Back in the hotel suite, Noah was on a video call, excitedly showing me his middle school acceptance letter. Mommy, look, the city's top school. That's amazing. Chloe squeezed into the screen. The little girl had grown up. Her eyes were bright. Mommy, the hair clip I designed. Auntie Amy said it can be a new product. She held up a drawing, a childish sketch, daisies and stars. It's beautiful. I blew her a kiss through the screen. When Mommy gets back, we'll find a factory. After the call, my assistant knocked. Ms. Sue, there's a gentleman downstairs. He says he's an old acquaintance. His name is Ching. I frowned. First name, Ethan. I was stunned. Ethan, a distant relative of the Ching family, the only one who had been unscathed when the family fell, and also, the anonymous sender of that crucial audio file. Send him up. In the suite's living room, Ethan was sitting on the sofa. He looked much more composed than before. A suit and tie, gold-rimmed glasses. Ms. Sue, congratulations. The flagship store is a great success. Thank you. I sat down. Is there something you need, Mr. Chung? He pushed a file towards me, returning this to its rightful owner. I opened it. Inside were a few yellowed pages, some of the Ching family's undisclosed internal transaction records from back then, the originals. Years ago, he had anonymously sent me copies. They had helped me deliver the final blow to them after Alexander's wedding. Why are you giving this to me? I asked. It's useless to me. He smiled. I feel better with it in your hands. You're not afraid he'll use it again. You want. He looked at me. Evelyn, you've long since passed the stage of needing these things to protect yourself. I put the file away. Thank you. You're welcome. He stood up. I'm leaving. I wish Lumiere all the best in lighting up the world. He reached the door, then stopped. He didn't turn back. Alexander passed away last year. Liver cancer. My hand, holding the file, tightened. Oh, before he died, he was delirious. He kept calling your name. And Victoria is in Canada, remarried, with 2 kids. She's living a quiet life. Good for her. The door closed softly. I walked to the window. The Parisian night was a dazzling display of lights. The Seine was like a diamond-studded belt. My phone's lock screen was a photo of Noah and Chloe, in the small courtyard in France, under the osmanthus tree, smiling brightly. I bent down. I kissed the screen. Good night, my babies. Outside, the long dragon of lights snaked into the distance, like a brilliant road home. 3 years later, the small courtyard in France. The scent of osmanthus was intoxicating. I was lying on a rocking chair, covered with a light blanket. Sunlight filtered through the leaves, dappling the ground with gold. Soft footsteps. Chloe was holding a tablet. Mommy, look, an online auction. The homecoming necklace you designed. It sold for a fortune. I squinted. I smiled. You like it? Yes. She nodded vigorously. When I grow up, I want to design beautiful jewelry like this too. Okay. Noah came over with a financial magazine. Mom, the interview is out. From CEO's wife to jewelry queen. Evelyn's path of light. I glanced at the headline. Is it any good? It's okay. He pouted. They just mentioned your ex-husband. Oh, Mom. Noah put down the magazine and knelt by my chair, his gaze serious. Do you have any regrets? Regrets about what? Leaving him. I reached out. I touched my son's face, which was already showing the sharp angles of adolescence. No. Why? Because by leaving him, I looked at the golden, fragrant osmanthus blossoms. Mommy found her own light, and gave you a clean world. Mommy. Chloe rushed over and squeezed into my lap, holding up the tablet like a trophy. Look, someone left a comment, on the auction house's website, under the homecoming emerald necklace. The latest bidder's ID was passerby. In the comments section, there was only one sentence. The light has been found. The road is home. I smiled. I took the tablet. I cleared the search history. I handed it back to my daughter. Go and play. The sun was warm. It made me feel lazy. I closed my eyes. The wind rustled through the leaves. A soft, whispering sound, like the sound of time passing, carrying the sweet scent of osmanthus, and the echo of freedom.